Life isn't perfect, and neither are we.
Nope. But we know how to face our fears
And have some fun.
and talk about all the messiest things of life.
Like the messiest things.
Get connected to yourself, get connected to others, and get connected to the life right in front of you.
This is The Connected Life with Justin and Abi.
That's me.
That's you.
And you. Guess what?
What?
You are here with me and my best friend in the whole wide world.
Justin.
No.
No.
Move over.
Shut up, Pietze.
This is pent up frustration because he's had to spend the entire week with us.
With me and my best friends.
Ugh.
You're one of my best friends, but you are also one of my best friends. Do they know who I'm looking at? Nope. They don't know which one I'm talking to.
But do you do the type of things you do with me with your best friends?
Do I do the type of things I do with my best friends with you?
That's the real question.
Oh.
I mean, because I don't think, like, me and Pietze will repetitively talk about the same subject over and over and over again.
That is a waste of my ear space.
Okay, Justin, literally, I think that this is one of his number one frustrations with us is that we'll say the same thing over and over.
In
different ways because we're trying to understand it from all angles.
Yes.
It's repetitive and unnecessary. And I don't know if all female brains work this way or it's just
Pretty
you
much.
guys
I
got
don't
dropped
know,
on your
actually.
heads as children.
Well, and then we like to tell each other everything we like about each other
Over and over
and
again.
over and over.
Like, oh my
again.
gosh, you look so hot in that.
Oh
I
my
just
gosh,
think you look so
love
hot.
your hair today.
Your hair looks so good. You know what? You are so good at affirmation.
You are so good at compassion.
Thank
The
you.
woman
I
is
just
a
love being around
mystery.
you.
Both her mind and her body.
Oh,
Welcome
man.
to the mystery, boys. Hey, speaking of mysteries, we're gonna discover solutions to the mystery that is the woman's heart and
Oh,
mind
wait, so
today.
you're just done cutting off our mutual love for each other?
I'm done listening
I'm not
to you
okay
both.
with that.
We were in the middle of a great spiel.
Nobody cared.
No.
I cared.
Nobody cared.
It's been really fun having Pietze around in our lives. Justin is pretty thankful for her
I am.
because...
And we say this often in our startings.
Oh, do we?
Yes,
Our
we have.
beginnings,
We've
yeah.
said it a few times. Justin's
They know by now.
thankful because then he doesn't have to put up with Abby. When
Yes.
she gets crazy, he just sends her my way.
Yeah.
She knows the spiel.
She knows the spiel.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thanks for that, Pietze. That's
You're
nice.
welcome.
And when Pietze...
It's like you pay attention to me. Her, however, had no
We're
idea
not
it was
sure.
even said repeatedly.
But I will say it's kind of been like a fun, like, friendship love fest because now Pietze and Justin, it's been long enough that now you guys love each other.
We're gradually
We do.
been growing in connection.
Yeah,
The way you said that made it sound like you kind of put up with her. By
Well,
now.
he kind of
No.
puts up with me, but I'm becoming his biggest fan.
Huge
No, but you
Yeah.
really wanted nothing to do with me for a very long time.
It's not that I wanted nothing to do with you. I didn't know you.
Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't
If
exist to you.
if you need to know about that story, go back and listen to their love story, and you'll find out why I didn't know him.
because
Yeah.
it was
It's
so
a
fast.
whirlwind.
That is your fault, Abby.
It
It
is
was
her
my
fault.
fault.
Thanks for nothing.
I didn't set
And
you
her
guys up for
ADD.
success. Yep.
That's real.
Okay.
So today, all right, here's the deal. For all you guys out there, this episode is especially for you
Yes, it is.
because we're going to unlock the mystery box that is the woman.
The woman.
The mystery box.
Actually, we're going to unlock what makes men attractive to us women.
There are exactly 6 keys to their heart.
No.
No more? No less.
Exactly. This is how a man would sum it up. There's
100%.
6. I've categorized them, and that's all you have to do.
I just do this. I check the box,
Do
and
this
then
in
it
order.
stops me, right?
Yep.
And everything will be perfect.
Everything's perfect. No.
But-
We're actually saying there's 6 keys to a man being powerful.
Well, no.
No, that's
I don't
what
know.
we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about men
They're
being
not
powerful.
6 keys to them being powerful, but they're
Oh.
examples of power, and it is what...
6 ways men can be powerful.
Yeah, the expressions
Why are
of
we
power.
talking about men being powerful?
Because it's what titillates the woman's soul.
Oh my gosh, that word sounds so
Oh my
bad.
gosh.
That word is so disgusting.
Although I do have to say, power does a lot of things for a woman.
It really does. That's why I kind of brought this up. Me and Pietze were.
I'm laughing at my choice of words.
It's so
I know,
bad.
twiddlate. That was just sick.
But me and Pietze were talking about this. I've known this my whole life. I am drawn to powerful men.
If
And-
you can hear what a woman's drawn to inside of this, then you can change all of who you are to become someone better.
But I feel like there's a lot of guys out there who have been waiting for this. They're like, if someone could just tell me what she wants,
Yes.
Yeah.
my life would be changed.
How do I be attractive to women?
Yes.
Yeah,
so basically, we're wanting to get into the psyche
ideas.
of the woman mind and the woman heart. And like, because in the previous podcast I did, the Liberation Project, there was a lot of conversations in that were about what it is to be a man and what women are drawn to. But that was from a couple of guys talking about it. We want to get like, was it real? Did we make it all up?
You made it up.
We had no idea.
I didn't agree with one episode.
All the guys were like, we can get behind this. We're going to give you the truth.
We're going to give you the real cold, hard facts.
All right, both of you be quiet now. Know your role. See what I did there? Rule number 1, key number 1, be powerful and put them in their place.
Oh, my word.
So we want to get into broken perspectives of masculinity.
We are, but first, will you talk about your desire to see men be powerful and what your heart for
what my perspective of male-female relationships are?
Yeah.
I actually believe inside the household that the man is supposed to be the leader inside of it.
What?
And that's hold on. Don't you turn that off. Don't you do it. I know you're offended. You just hear me out. Just cuss at me inside of your head.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's such a broken perspective of leadership and masculinity and authority that when you talk about the idea of a man leading, you have this picture inside of your head that is this man who comes to dominate, who comes to run over, who makes the final decision ultimately at the end of the day. And his voice is most heard more than a woman's voice is. Right. And inside of that space, a woman feels like a second-class citizen that's there as an indentured servant to their husband somehow, their spouse. Yes. I think that's such a broken, terribly broken view of leadership. Yes. I hate it. I despise it, actually, that view. It makes me nauseous.
And it creates war in the genders.
Yes, absolutely. So the concept to me in leadership is the idea that me as a man, I embrace the idea of that, like for this marriage, I am a man. In this marriage, I am the husband. This is my marriage. I'm going to choose to take ownership over it. That means I'm not going to act like, oh, it's Abby's marriage. I'm just going to leave it to her to make decisions all alone. And I'm going to be passive. The one thing that's shattered families in this generation is the passivity of masculinity.
Yes.
That took a back seat and acted like, I'm here, but I'm not an active participant, right?
Yeah. We've done the two swings. I'm either a dominant man who doesn't let you have any choices, or I'm a passive man who has no participation,
doesn't show up, and now it's just all on my wife's shoulders. And to me, it begins with me saying, no, this is my marriage, and I'm going to step into treating it as if it's something that's treasured, as if it's a valuable gift.
Like, this is a business. Like if men would treat their marriages with as much like energy and importance as they would a business. Yeah. Like I need to care for the details. I need to learn how to be a good leader. I need to learn how to deal with my finances.
We'd have $1 million marriages.
We'd have Fortune
500 marriages. Oh, dang. Mic drop. Okay. So the idea of leadership to me begins like I'm saying yes to what's right in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to be passive any longer, and I'm going to own me. And ownership over me looks like me saying like, these are my problems that I'm bringing to the table. I need to deal with my problems, my emotions. I need to look honestly at what's going on inside of me.
It's a huge part of being
I'm going to look at how I affect my wife, my children, any of the family that I'm stewarding, because at the end of the day, I affect my family whether I'm an active participant or I'm passive or I'm dominant. Yep. There's some way that I am bringing an effect inside of this world, and a lot of men don't want to look honestly at that. So part of the leadership is the awareness of I affect people inside of this, and then deliberately deciding how do I want to affect this relationship. Right. Yeah. So I'm deliberately showing up saying, this is the marriage that I want. This is the experience I want my wife and my children to have inside of this life. Yeah. And then ultimately, to me, I take this sense of my strength to get down on one knee and put my wife and my children on my shoulders and raise them up higher than I could go. Yes. It's like, I want to be a strength. And that's not me saying that my wife hasn't carried me in her strength and given me something. It doesn't mean that I'm better than my wife. It just means I'm going to deliberately choose to utilize my strength to better her world and the world of my children right in front of me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And part of that empowerment looks like I see femininity as an equal.
Yes.
And part of this leadership process is I lead with gentleness. Like if there's a fight that's breaking loose between the two of us, I can choose to be a passenger and let it keep unfolding, or I can go, no, I'm going to choose to lead out of this, which means I'm going to choose to lead by the example of I'm going to be kind, I'm going to be patient, I'm going to ask for forgiveness, I'm going to seek to understand, I'm going to choose to be quick to forgive. I'm going to begin to be, I'm not going to just sit by and go, oh, I'm a victim of her behavior, but I'm going to choose into my responses and not just live reactionary.
So good.
Absolutely.
And the last thing I'll say about leadership as a man is that I view Abby's wisdom as valuable as mine.
Yeah.
And in decision making, it's a partnership. So I'm going to bring my wisdom to the table. And part of my leadership is I'm going to draw her wisdom out. I'm going to draw her opinion, her perspectives. I'm going to go, let me hear about your heart. I want to know and understand you as I give away what I feel and perceive on something. And then I'm going to posture myself to say, I am here to find a middle ground. Absolutely. And until we find a middle ground where we both feel like we have wins inside it, we're not moving, no matter what it costs us. If I lose something, I lose a job opportunity or whatever, I lose the opportunity to buy a home or something. I don't care. I'm not going to punish her if she's not in agreement with me. I'm going to find that place of partnership.
That's good.
Yeah. And that's incredible and beautiful and sounds awesome. And we've had to work really hard because having two powerful people.
We're very strong.
Yeah. And
people.
Having both. And like, I have to lead as much as you. So I have to choose. I'm going to show up with gentleness in this fight, even if you don't show up. Like, because I think there's this thing where women get really victim-y and are like, I need my husband to be powerful. I need my boyfriend to be powerful. I need the person I'm around to do these things. And I see them
they're acting like victims.
100%. Where I'm like, no, just because a guy isn't doing something right, just because he's not leading the way that you want, because there's a lot of ways you've led really well, and there's a lot of ways you had to learn about leadership.
Failed miserably inside of leadership and
100%.
Really botched it and caused pain.
But none of that ever gave me an excuse to show up differently.
Right.
Yep.
But so I love that is a great foundation, though. That's what the goal would be, that marriages are and relationships, dating, friendships, that women are seeking to empower men and to respect them and care for them and show up powerfully. Like, it's my job to lead in patience. It's my job to lead in kindness. It's my job to take ownership of my own issues. It's my job to do all of those things as well as you. Like healthy relationships between the gender is we're both showing up, taking ownership of ourselves.
And the truth is that if you are in a marriage where your husband isn't in a powerful position, you can become powerful, and that doesn't mean overpowering him. But it means becoming powerful in your strengths, which is an invitation to him. You can actually draw out his strengths. By doing that,
and we're going to talk about that.
We are going to,
But I want to start with just the basic concept that, and I don't know if men are aware of this, but
wait 1 second. Can I say something?
No.
I'm
in control. I am powerful. You are not powerful anymore.
Back down, woman.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think that this is just something as a disclaimer that ran through my head. There's a wave of empowerment conversation that exists out there of what power is, and I'm just taking back my power, which means
I can do what I want and not care about you. I can do what I want and
not care about you. I'm going to dominate you. I'm going to run over you. I'm going to put you in your place.
My needs matter. No one else.
Yep. And we don't think about how we affect others. And that's not actually being powerful. That's a powerless person exercising their powerlessness on the other side of the spectrum.
Totally.
Yep.
Which means I am being controlling in a different way rather than being passive over here.
Yep.
And power is a heart level thing.
Absolutely.
It's a heart change that actually is connected to love.
Yes.
And deeper understandings of love for ourselves and love for other people. So that's something that we'll explore inside of this. But I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, no, I think that's super important.
Yeah, that's helpful.
So you can go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to start. Me and Pietze were having a conversation the other day about this, about how one of the most attractive things for women is powerful men.
Oh, yeah. I was telling a funny story because my husband used to be in a band and he would play to like huge arenas. And I remember I was on side stage at a festival that he was playing, and Yeah, it probably was super impressive that he was playing to this huge festival, but he broke one of his drumsticks. And so he was drumming one-handed while he was like,
shut up.
Drumming the whole song one-handed while he was like motioning to me like, hey, fine, I need you to go tell somebody to get me a drumstick.
He was telling her what to do while he was handling.
I have never been more turned on in my life. I remember being like, what is happening? Because I was so impressed. Like, it was just watching him own the situation. He wasn't getting mad or frustrated. He was just literally...
He was confident and capable.
He was confidently drumming the song one-handed while he was looking the other way, talking to me, and then talking to a stage assistant. And I was like... oh my goodness. Like, what the heck? But I just loved watching him in his element.
Yes.
Be owning his element and being powerful inside of his element. He could have been building puzzles, you know,
totally.
Like one-handed, and I would have been impressed just because.
Look at me go. I've got a one-handed puzzle piece.
If he was good at building puzzles, because it was just like him inside of his giftings, owning it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One-way ticket to Pantytown, right?
Yeah, amen.
Oh my God. He's like, I gotta break a drumstick more often.
I know. He's like, you want to see a drumstick break? Hiya! Yeah. In the bedroom.
That's hysterical. I think that people aren't conscious of this. I don't think men are conscious of this, and I'm not sure women are entirely conscious of this either. But I always think, like, if you're drawn to the bad boy or whatever, it's actually probably that you're drawn to power.
Yes.
And it's not a healthy kind of power. And there are healthy forms of power to be drawn to. But the concept is the nice guy often doesn't feel powerful.
Yep.
The nice guy often feels weak, or like passive. You can destroy their whole world.
Yep.
Or like they need you, or like they're insecure. That's why they're nice. Like they don't feel powerful. And women are innately drawn. And some of this is actually chemical.
Yeah.
So you've got to understand.
Biological.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because as the world has been changing, we needed a husband that we thought could protect us.
Yeah.
Like when the world, when it started way back when, and it's cavemen, I need a husband that can fight off a lion so that me and my kids will survive.
Yep. So there's something actually psychologically in you that you're not aware of that is drawn to power just because of how biology is set.
Simple survival purposes.
Yeah. I need a man that can protect me, that will provide for my offspring. We actually subconsciously, even if you're not thinking about kids, we're subconsciously looking for a good person that can help us survive the planet.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And so we're talking about how there's been lots of, and you can see this in society.
Yeah. So it's interesting because you'll see that there's this, you know, it's like it's biologically there. So why have movies like 50 Shades of Grey done so well? Why have books like Twilight done so well? It's because it actually appeals to our biological stance, which is wanting a powerful man. Now, sadly, society has taken it where, you know, women used to be super dominated in that area, and we overcompensate to something on the other side of over femininity, or we have something like 50 Shades of Grey, which is a completely abusive relationship and are attracted to that. So what we really want to do is debunk those things and look at what is actually a powerful man. Yeah. What does a healthy, powerful man look like?
Yeah, because I remember one of my good friends years ago, she grew up with men who were really powerful, in quotes, like dominating, strong. And she was drawn to that. Her first husband was super abusive, bodybuilder, tried to kill her, like, you know, like
sounds like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. But that's when you grow up, that was her idea of what a powerful man was.
Yeah.
And so she ended up meeting this guy who was very kind and loving and cared about her. And she was like, oh, that's not attractive. There's something wrong with him. And it actually wasn't about power or powerlessness. It was because she hadn't taken the time to look through what is the concept of power that I am looking at.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was when she recognized, oh, I've been defining powerful as dominator.
Yeah.
And that's what masculinity is. When she was able to let go of that definition of masculinity, then all of a sudden she was really attracted to this man who was powerful in a different way.
Yeah.
Which I think is so important to actually learn as women, to like, what is the power that I'm drawn to? So some women are like, I need to marry a rich man because that feels powerful. To them. Especially like, let's say if you grew up in a house where money was like, where you felt like your life. I have this other friend who grew up and she thought poverty is why her dad abused them. He was so stressed about finances and he was abusive. So in her mind, poverty equals abuse. So for her, I have to be with a man who is rich so that he feels powerful.
So that he won't abuse me.
So that he won't abuse me. And
so half of the conversation is actually, and we're not going to get into this today, but is looking at your own beliefs.
Yes.
So for women, your takeaway from this is not like, I'm looking for a man to be all these things, but what are the beliefs inside of me that are dictating and ruling out men who are actually real powerful men?
Yes.
And good men.
Because I know for me with Justin, when we first got married, there are lots of ways that you're powerful that we're going to go over in a minute. But one of the ways he wasn't powerful, he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. He didn't have a career plan.
Nope.
He wasn't making lots of money.
Nope.
So he was powerful in the sense that he was a good with money.
Right. I managed the money that I had really well.
Yes. And so he didn't feel unpowerful, but he didn't feel powerful. And I remember having this huge heart check because I was really struggling with it. And all of a sudden I heard this internal thing in me say, you are wanting him to be powerful so you don't have to be.
It's really good.
You don't want to have to figure out what you need to do with your life. So you want somebody else to figure out what they're supposed to do with their life. You don't want to have to figure out how to be powerful with money. So you want someone else to figure. I mean, I had the belief,
truth is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I had the belief men make money.
Yeah.
So it was like, I need a man to make me money for me to be okay, instead of I can be good at making money.
Yeah.
And I can be powerful with that.
Yeah.
And so I actually had a heart check that I was looking for him to be powerful to fix the part of me that felt vulnerable.
Yeah. And that's more like a parent-child relationship. But and the truth is, a lot of women are not, or men are not growing up in the areas that they need to. So they're looking for a partner who can dominate rather than both parties showing up powerfully in a way that it was meant to be a partnership where we're both in our roles doing what we do best, you know?
Absolutely.
So
we're going to talk about
let's jump in.
6 keys to being powerful as a man that unlocks the women's hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
we're going to start.
We're going to hear it from them because I've sat back and I'll put my 2 cents into it, but really I want to hear it from the two of you. You guys have come up with this list of what makes you want to grab Johnny.
Yes.
Throw him against the wall.
And drag him to the bedroom.
Yes. This is my list.
This is our list.
Mom and Dad, please cover your ears. Just kidding.
Okay.
So number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 1 is a can-do attitude. Learners.
Yes. So here's what is so sexy. It's so sexy when your sink breaks.
Yep.
And your husband isn't like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I have no ability to figure this out.
Yep.
We're destroyed.
Yep.
No, sexy is when your boyfriend is like, you know what, we're going to YouTube this.
Yeah.
And we're going to figure out, I'm going to talk to my dad and ask him questions. And it doesn't mean you have to be able to do everything.
But
it's
they
just
actively seek solutions.
Yes.
Yep. That's the truth. Yep.
Instead of being paralyzed like, oh no, it's the end of the world. But a man goes, if I don't know it, I'm willing to try and figure it out.
And see, that's where I think a lot of men go wrong. And even my husband in the beginning at times would go wrong because he's like, oh, he would get intimidated. Like, I think that you think that I need to know everything and I don't actually know how to do it. At times when it's like, no, I don't need you to know how to do
power is.
everything, but I need you to be okay with figuring it out.
Yep.
You know?
And your husband is actually really good at this.
Yeah. The truth is, this is actually one of his hugest strengths is he's a problem solver. So he doesn't get flustered when things go wrong. He thinks real logically like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to call this person. I'm going to look this up and we're going to figure this out. And it's not going to be a huge deal. And you can calm down and stop freaking out.
Yeah. And even if the solution, it could be the guy who goes, I don't know how to fix where I'm at inside of marriage, but I bring the solution to the table, which is I made a phone call to 3 different people to find out a really good therapist or a consultant or counselor. And I proactively did the legwork to find someone for us to meet with. And that was being powerful, even if they didn't have the tangible answer to the marriage component. Yes.
And that right there, just that simple act is so healing.
So hot.
And so hot. It is. It's healing for your heart because it's like, oh, you're looking out for me. I'm not having to steer the ship.
Yeah.
I'm not having, because nobody's steering the ship. I have to go run and figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. You're looking out for the ship too. You're saying, hey, I see where we're going and I'm coming up with a plan and a solution. And that is so hot.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't mean you have to be naturally good at everything.
Nope.
It means you're being proactive and that you believe you can learn.
Yep.
So I know that there's been lots of times, and it doesn't even mean that you have confidence all the way. There's been times when our air conditioner went out last time, Justin is like Googling things and then calling his dad who's worked with air conditioning and then calling an air conditioning guy to talk through some issues and then fiddling around with some of it and then needing the air conditioning guy to come out and then finding a part and like, but the process was like, I'm proactive enough to go on this journey.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not that I know everything, but I'm going to keep pushing through.
Yep.
So that's
totally.
number one.
Number one.
Number 2.
When challenges of life, and this kind of goes on the heels of that, arise, they don't back down. They meet them.
Yeah. And I think too, like,
what does that look like?
Yeah. So it's exactly kind of like we're tailgating off of what you just said. But, when something comes up, it's saying like, hey, I don't have to know all the answers, but I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to go hide in a corner.
Yep. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand.
I'm not going to
pretend this isn't existing.
I'm not going to live in denial. I'm not going to get angry because a lot of guys, when they don't know something, it can come out in anger and aggression.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do. So I'm angry because I feel like I'm not good enough. I don't know what to do.
I feel incapable.
Yep. It's not choosing anger, but it's choosing saying, and you can even say, I feel a little bit inadequate right now.
Right.
That's not going to intimidate me if you say, hey, I'm feeling inadequate, but we're going to figure this out. And I'm showing up 100%.
I think that's even an expression of power is to acknowledge the scary things.
Yes.
That's being powerful.
Yep.
Like when I look at Abby and go, I feel inadequate in this thing. I'm not sure how to do it. It does feel scary to me. Mm-hmm. It's not me freaking out and having a meltdown. I can't do this. It's no, I actually feel this way. And she can see the risk and the bravery to even say that. And she's like, oh, that's a turn on. He's not scared to say that.
In some ways it actually deepens the power because I see where you're coming from.
Oh,
I see that internally you actually feel really scared right now. You're feeling inadequate, but you're still rising to the occasion.
Yes.
You're still choosing in to the situation and not opting out.
Yeah. And so I have a story about this. Like I remember the first time years ago that you were speaking at a big men's event.
Yeah.
And
it was my first men's event and it was like 500 guys or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were so scared. Like,
terrified.
It triggered you.
It triggered me back to a childhood experience.
Yep.
I felt paralyzed.
Yeah, completely paralyzed. So that in itself doesn't feel powerful when a normal life thing, or I mean, it's not normal, but like a thing that is doable, to speak is doable, and you're like crumpled on the ground.
Yeah. I was literally fetal.
Yeah, he was processing his fear. But you took ownership over what was happening.
I did.
And you weren't like, oh, I can't talk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to just not speak. That's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to avoid it. I'm just going to not do the thing that is scary. I knew, because this is how you are, because one of your life mottos is I'm going to run at my fear. Yep. So I knew, like, it's not that you didn't have fear that makes you powerful. It's that you had fear and chose to process through it. You invited several guy friends to process through it. You cried with one of your guy friends. You talked through the memories that came up, and then you got on stage and you did it.
Yeah. And I mean, to take it a step further, I allowed my guy friend to spoon me.
Now that is true manliness and power
so
at its
manly.
finest. But you have to be ultra secure in your manhood. in order to let that happen.
Both him and I were. I remember he came over when I was in the middle of a meltdown, and Abby had called him as I was crying on one of those moments.
Well, I asked him, like, what do you need? And you're like, I need a man to come process.
Yeah, I didn't need a woman to be there. And I was actually in a deep childhood place.
Yep.
I could feel like a trauma with a little kid inside of me. And so I remember him getting behind me as I'm laying on the ground. He goes, "Hey, buddy." And he wrapped his arms around me. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I was like about 7 years old again, being held by a father figure.
Yeah.
And as a man, I could have chosen to be like, "No,
I'm fine. I got it.
Nope,
no big deal.
I got this. And I'm especially not going to let some other man hold me. That's friggin' crazy." Or I actually faced the greatest fear, which is this deep fear of vulnerability. And I said, no, I don't care what I look like. I don't care if Abby decides that I'm a fool for this. I know that this is taking care of me well, and I know that this is the liberation that my soul needs, so I'm going to partake in it.
Absolutely.
And that's true strength.
Yeah.
It's funny because the world would say strength is sucking it up.
Yep.
But true
not
courage,
weakness.
Yep. True courage and strength and rising to the occasion is actually allowing yourself to be vulnerable and walk through the process.
And one of the things I'd say about as a woman, so like every woman wants their husband or boyfriend to be powerful.
Yeah.
At the same time, we actually have to learn how to partner with that.
Yeah.
And I see women destroy their husband's journey of being powerful all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I could have
you could have scorned me.
I could have scorned him or thought you're stupid. What's wrong with you? Or shamed him.
And I've watched women do that where they literally with their husbands. Why can't you get over it? Why are you acting like this? Be a man and grow some friggin' balls.
Yeah.
And there's just this intense aggression at a man letting down his walls like that. And then a man goes, nope. I tested the waters. That didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even for me, like understanding. So when I'm around a man, and this is really, we're having a conversation about being powerful. So as a woman, you can listen. These are ways you could become powerful too. Being vulnerable, owning your fears.
Yeah.
We're talking about what is attractive in men, but it's also what is beautiful about women's strength.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But one of the things I was going to say is there's a knowing of this is Justin's first time speaking. He's going to learn.
Yeah.
He's going to learn how to be good at this. I don't have to make a judgment or decide that he's not powerful in life because he's not powerful in this moment about this thing. I can see that he's going to face his fear, which is awesome. But I also can have vision that the way for somebody to become powerful in any area is practice.
Yep. Absolutely.
So if I have vision for like, I want you to feel powerful, then I'm not going to break you down when you haven't even practiced something.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would say too, like for my husband and I, one area that this shows up is even as we process pain with our autistic daughter, rather than him trying to just not allow me to experience the pain, which is what I think a lot of guys tend to want to do because it feels overwhelming.
Is to stop it. They get overwhelmed.
Yeah, they get overwhelmed. I don't know how to fix this. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're making a big deal. Is he allows it to come up and he sits with me in it. Mm-hmm. And as we've processed it, then he speaks life over me again. And he encourages me in it of saying, hey, we're going to find a way. We're going to figure this out. We're in this together. I've got your back, and to me, that is so rising to the occasion because the tendency is to want to shut it down or fix it. Mm-hmm. But just allowing it to be there, acknowledging it is okay. Yeah. You're rising to the occasion.
I'm in this.
Yep. In it to win it. Okay. So number 3, they are confident.
Oh my gosh. I wish there's so many men that I know that are like, how do I get a girl? I'm like, believe in yourself.
100%.
Women are going to treat you the way you treat you.
Absolutely.
Like, if you think that you're an idiot, they're going to feel like you're an idiot.
And here's the truth. I don't need you to be good at everything.
No.
But know what you're good at and know what you're not and be good at the things you're good at and be confident in what you're good at and be confident in what you're not good at. Know who you are. Be confident in who you are.
Yeah, I have a confidence in what I'm not good at.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, the sense of like, I don't feel inadequate.
Right.
Right.
Like I have an emotion of confidence of like, oh yeah, I feel great about myself over here where I don't have a solution and I'm not good at that stuff.
Yeah.
So that inadequacy.
So you're like, even when I'm not good at things, I still have confidence in who I am.
Because I have an identity that's solidified in a higher truth.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not in my actions. It's in who I am as a son of God, the way I was created.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember meeting a man before I was married, and he was kind of like a nerd, but he felt totally like secure in his nerdiness in the sense of he's like, this is who I am.
Yes.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. That to me was so hot.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, oh, the fact that you're just okay with who you are and you're confident in it makes me so attracted to you, who I traditionally maybe would not have been attracted to.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Owning yourself. What we're saying is owning yourself. You don't have to be what everybody says on TV is a good looking man. You don't have to be what everybody says is cool. You don't, but if you like you and if you own you and you think that you have something to offer, then women will actually agree with you.
Think about like when I get an action figure in the mail that I love, I'm like, babe, check out this toy. Look how awesome it is. And I'm having this entire like explosion of happiness, and I don't feel inadequate. Like I'm taking it down to the nerdiest level on my life. But if I were to like,
if you were insecure about
almost like I got something in the mail and then I went and hid it in the bedroom and I was like, I got an action figure. I can't let her see. I'm such a nerd. You'd be like, ew, there's something about my husband that's so gross, because there'd be a label that I've written over myself and over the things that I enjoy that says inadequate.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like, what do you label yourself as?
Yep.
Do you label yourself? And even like I do this myself with my flaws. Like I'm dyslexic. I don't know how, like I have lived in Reading for 9 years and I still use my GPS.
Right.
I don't know how to get anywhere. I have decided that I don't like get insecure when I have to ask somebody for directions in Reading and they know I've lived here forever. I don't get all self-hatred-y and shamey.
No.
I'm like, oh, hey, actually, I think I'm cute and I think it's an endearing quality about my personality. I'm like, oh, and I would say, I don't know where I'm going. Where should I go? Like I get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny quirk.
Yeah.
Most of my things where I wouldn't be confident are things I actually think are funny quirks.
Yeah.
I want to add to that just on you specifically. I watch you get on stage and speak and you'll say stuff that like, you'll make up words.
Yeah.
Broken
so
English.
True.
You'll forget where you're going with stuff.
Sometimes I have to ask the audience what I'm talking about.
What was I saying again?
Yeah, that is my favorite.
But everyone is always endeared to you as a speaker because you're endeared to yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a confidence over it where they buy into you. Whereas other speakers go, I missed that one word. They have a shame meltdown and the audience is like, that person's an idiot.
It feels awkward. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for them. I feel like I want to like go up there and take them off the stage and hug them.
It's not attractive. And I will say, just a little tidbit to the ladies here. It's universal. So it goes the other way around. Men are attracted to confident women. Yeah.
Yes.
If you're confident, that equals sexy. And I remember even my guy friends saying that all the time.
100%.
Or even, different guys like, oh, when you're being confident, it is so sexy. When you think that you're sexy, I think you're sexy.
And I've had men in the office here. Yeah. You're probably going to say what I'm going to say.
Probably so.
Go ahead. Steal it. But I've had men and women come in and men... The conversation is about sexuality and inside the bedroom. And they're like, I'm not attracted to my wife in the bedroom. And it's not because she's too big or it's not because this or that, but it's because she hates her body.
Yeah.
I can't win. I can't love her no matter how much I tell her she's beautiful. And then she denies it. She tells me I'm wrong. She hides herself. So I finally got to the point where I'm not attracted.
Yeah. And it's funny because even for me, my body's changed so much since having kids. And it's been interesting going on that journey with my husband because he's like, it has nothing to do with what your body looks like, but how you show up in the bedroom.
Yes.
And what you choose to believe. So like when I've been at my heaviest, which was 60 pounds heavier than I normally was, he was just as attracted to me when I was being confident as when I was 60 pounds skinnier.
Yeah, I think for men and women, because it's a big thing for men body types right now. There's a bigger epidemic of comparison and feeling inadequacy based on what their bodies are. The women talk about it all the time. Yeah, but you're
saying the epidemic for men having the same comparison problems that women do. That suddenly is being realized in our gender.
And so what I would say, first of all, for men, if you're powerful, your body is not going to be the thing that counts you out.
Yep.
Like women are so drawn to power that if you're powerful doesn't look like you hating your body.
Yeah.
So if you hate your body, then we're not going to like it either. And for women, if you think beauty and sexy is your body type, you've missed it.
Yeah.
Beauty and sexy is your ability to love yourself, believe in yourself, laugh about your inadequacies,
Amen.
Enjoy who you are. It's so important.
Yep.
Okay, so the next one is
what number is this? Do you know?
It is number 4. Being powerful means you can push past shame.
Yeah.
Which this is
Yeah.
kind
This
of
is
going
kind of
on
what
the
we're already
the heels of that.
what we were just saying.
Yep.
But so it looks like, I think shame is one of the most ugly
Ugly
emotions.
emotions that exist.
Yeah, shame and self-hatred.
Yeah.
Where when you start to dislike yourself, then you actually you create an invitation for other people to dislike it. We said it before, but I'll say it again. When Justin gained weight, I told him, hey, I'm not attracted to you. Mm-hmm. And it's not because he gained weight that I wasn't attracted to him. I loved his body. It was because all of a sudden he was acting different with his body.
Yeah.
Right.
He had shame.
Yep. Shame all of a sudden overtook me.
And when he changed that mentality, the whole story changed. Then I was like, okay, I'm attracted to you again.
So if you want men and women alike, but I mean, we're having kind of conversation at men. It was an invitation for men to jump in on this. But if you really want to be attractive to women, be a guy who professionally runs at his shame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Runs at destroying it, eliminating it inside of your life. And you're finding avenues to accept yourself wherever you're at, whether it's over your body, your finances, your life status, your job, whatever.
And again,
even like Justin didn't have shame in this area. So like he never had shame about not making money. He had fear about it,
But not shame.
but not shame. And so what happened was, even though he wasn't in a career, I actually knew he still felt powerful. I knew you would do whatever it took to make money. I knew if you had to work at McDonald's, you would work at McDonald's, that you didn't have shame. You would figure out a way to do it. And what happens is shame and fear defeat people. And so basically we're saying, if you want to be powerful, you have to stand up to the bully of shame and fear.
Yep. And the truth is, we don't need you to be perfect at it.
No.
We don't need you to be put together before we're attracted to you. We just need to know that you're willing to go on the journey.
That it's part of it's in there.
Yep. That's actually
Part of your character.
it's part of your character. Yeah, it's part of your lifestyle is running after shame. I don't need you to get rid of all the shame. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I just need to actually know that you have a value for running after shame.
And part of living shame-free kind of goes back to one of the first things that we said in being powerful, which is shame-free looks like I can get help if we need to see a counselor. Yeah. I don't have an ego.
Yep.
So being powerful means I can invite somebody in to help us.
Yeah.
I can get help when we need help. Like that's one of the things that has made Justin so powerful, is that when he doesn't know what to do, he calls somebody.
Yep.
He can pull from other resources. When he's stuck at something in business, he calls somebody who's further ahead in business and processes it through because he doesn't have shame. And what shame tells men is you have to know everything already. You have to be perfect already. You have to figure it out. And then men end up hiding or pretending or faking it. And really, we're just asking them to take ownership.
Yeah. What's the next one? Number 5.
The next one is number 5, which is that they have vision. I think that this one is so huge. And we're not even necessarily saying vision in the traditional sense.
So a lot of people say like vision would be like, what kind of job am I going to have and how much money am I going to have in the bank? And we're not talking about that.
Yep. And we don't need you to have everything figured out.
Yeah.
But we want you to be running after something in life. That
A sense of hope.
Sense of hope, that you have a bigger vision for your life that you're running after. So I think even
beyond playing video games.
Yeah, this is beyond sitting, playing video games and getting laid all basement. The time.
Right.
You know, like if you could just dream past that a little bit, you're good. But, you know, I think of even This Is Us, and everyone loves the character Jack, which is the dad on the show.
Right. And he's totally imperfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not perfect at all, but he's a great, like, example of kind of strength and leadership in the context of family. But in one of the episodes, you know, his wife is kind of baffled because his big vision for his life is just to have a family. Yeah. Is to raise kids, but it's so sexy because that's what he wants, and he's confident in it, and he knows that that's what he wants, and he's running after it.
He's being intentional, proactive.
Yep. And he's like, I don't need to make a ton of money. Like, I don't need to like run a huge company. This is what I want, and I'm going after it.
Yeah. And what it shows up is because you're willing to sacrifice when there's vision involved. Yep. So even like, I know with your husband, like there's times when he's like, okay, financially, this is the goal. This is where we want to get. Yep. And so we're going to have to make these sacrifices to get to it. Yep. That doesn't feel powerless to you.
No, it actually feels so powerful to me. And it makes me feel so taken care of because he'll say, hey, I just want to let you know, here's where we're at financially, and here's what I'm thinking, and here's the plan that I've come up with, and I want you to get on my team. Yeah. Like, let's be together in this. And it makes me feel so safe because I'm like, oh, I love, even if it's a different vision than what I thought. I'm like, oh, I was thinking we could take some vacations this year, but I guess we're not doing that. You know, but I love that he's looking out for us, and I love that he has vision for our life and where we're going, and I can trust him in it. It's like, oh, I can so get behind you because I love that you have vision for our family and what we're doing.
I think.
Okay.
You want to go?
You go.
Oh, I think there's something about getting vision for who I am as a person.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was going to say. Quit being soul tied to me. Quit.
I'm reading your mind.
Talking at the same time as me. I was going to say like vision for who you are as a man.
Yeah.
Oh, you were? Oh, that's weird. I was going to say that same thing.
That's so crazy.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
Okay. Do you want to say it then?
No,
they're practically really making love with their eyes right now. You can't see this, but they are fully connected.
Okay, so like when there's a man, like for you, you're like, I want to be a man of integrity. I want to be a man who loves well. I want to be a man who's a good friend. I want like you want to become, and you are actually processing how to take steps to do that.
I may not be that in my actions at the moment when I have a vision for it. But it's because I'm moving towards it. And that's what vision is. It says I'm willing to look at where I'm not and also see where I want to be. And I'm willing to pursue that.
Yep.
And I bring up vision. So I'm like, Abby, this is what I've been running after. Yep. This is who I'm taking steps towards becoming.
Yep.
This is what I vision for our life.
And again, what you're saying is it's not that you're put together for us, but that you invite us into the process.
Yes.
And that's such a like sexy move. It's such a like, oh, I feel invited. I feel actually taken care of when you invite me into your process of becoming.
And that again takes a woman who's willing to respect and honor that and go, that's beautiful, and respond to that. Some women shut that down, but guys in that process, to me, if you have a wife or a girlfriend or something that doesn't know how to respond to you not having it all together, but you being a person that's willing to run after vision, I think that another part of being powerful is being okay with them not being okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And going, well, I'm confident in the fact that I'm on this journey, and you're welcome to like judge it. You're welcome to walk away from me in this process. That's cool. Whatever you want to do. But I'm going to be this. And it's about being steadfast.
Yes.
In that process.
Yes.
Regardless.
Whether or not your wife or girlfriend gets it and is going or reacting to it, but that you know confidently who you are and where you're going, and you stay steadfast in it.
Well, and that's the essence of what we're saying is being a powerful person, is that you don't give your power away to other things. So you don't give your power away to, I can't feel good enough about myself if I don't make this much money. I don't give my power away to, if my girlfriend doesn't like me, I don't like me.
Yeah.
If like we're saying that you as a man don't give your power away.
Yep.
Now, what we're not saying, though, is that like in an instance where my husband would come to me in terms of vision for money and financial needs, if I were to come to him and say, okay, I totally get it. I might have some concerns. What do you think about this? Real power doesn't just push past that, but it says, okay, I'm going to invite you into the process. I want to hear what you think. I'm going to take it. I'm going to consider it. We're going to talk through it, and we're going to come together and come up with a vision. But either way, we're going to have a vision that's healthy and fits both of our needs and our family's needs.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not, I have a vision etched in stone
of where we're going or what this is, but I'm bringing vision to the table that we might step into partnership together.
We might build
and go on
this,
a discovery. And a lot of our, in our vision casting, it's not just that I'm sitting over my soul vision casting. We've had verbal processes where we talk openly about, ask each other questions, moving towards finding vision.
Well, and I would say this even like about our sex life, which we talked about. You brought to the table a vision. It wasn't that you knew how to have a perfect sex life because you'd never been married before, even though you'd had sex before, but you came to the table with like, I have vision that we could have a connected sex life. I have vision that we could have a shame-free sex life. I have vision. And then what you did is you did decisions that would actually bring you towards that vision.
Totally.
Yeah.
So our last one of the 6 is vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
That is really...
We've kind of covered this. Vulnerability means you don't live in shame.
Yep.
It means you don't have to know everything.
Yep.
It means that you can be honest with your emotions when you don't have it figured out.
The truth is, I don't think you're weak when you admit to things that you're not good at, when you admit to things that you're struggling with. I actually find you way more powerful and strong when you're able to sit in the midst of your brokenness and invite me into it, you know?
Now, some women actually need to deal with their issues because they can't do that. And that's more about what they have learned. But the other thing is vulnerability. When a man comes and says, this is what I'm working through, it's one thing. Where it gets unattractive is if they are asking you to be the answer.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like I'm not enough. I need you to tell me that I'm enough.
Yep. Right. Yeah, that's putting me in a position that makes me feel completely insecure. I'm in charge then.
Yes.
And I don't want to be in charge of your powerfulness, you know? I'm not meant to be there.
I think inside of that sense of vulnerability, they're saying that a woman shouldn't be your solution.
Yeah, it shouldn't
but
be the
she can
source.
bring solutions.
Yes. Like
yes,
there's so many
that's
times.
so
that's
good.
Part of
I love the way you just said that.
Part of my vulnerability is I've come to Abby not thinking, like she said, she's not my source. She doesn't have to have the answer. I'm going to find the answer one way or another. But I'm creating an invitation for her to participate in finding a solution with me in stuff that I don't currently have an answer to. And it's me communicating that I trust you. I value you. I see that you have wisdom. I see that you add something to my life.
And there's so many times I have affirmed things in you because I get to partner with you, but I'm not the only source you have for love. And which is why being powerful means you have other friends who love you. Means you have other sources of connection.
You're not all your needs are getting met.
Yes.
And I want to say this. I'm gonna put the trump card kind of on this one, but the idea of, for me, my highest source is my creator. And this isn't trying to, sell somebody on the idea of faith, but I have a relationship with the one who created me. So in that relationship with this unconditionally loving creator, I am sitting in my greatest pains going, but there's someone that loves me, that made me, that's involved in my life. I'm not abandoned. I'm not alone. And I'm going to get an answer. Even if I can't create the answer, an answer is going to come to me. And I am settled in that relationship in a sense of peace, knowing that I'm okay and that my wife and I are going to be okay because I'm proactively submitting my heart in a humble way to something that's bigger than me.
And ultimately, we're saying that's what's sexy. I'm not the main source.
Yeah.
I am not your identity. I am not if you are good or not. I'm not if you're lovable or not. All of these things are about like your power of getting love needs is not all in my hands. Some of it, like I get to partner with you. I get to love you. I get to be a part of this, but it's not all up to me.
And what I love about Justin said too is it kind of goes back to our other point of vision. It's that you have a bigger vision. You're tied to something bigger and you're inviting me into it. It's not that you're looking to me to be the bigger vision, but you have something else that you're running after and you're inviting me into it. And I love that.
And what's beautiful is I think part of the vulnerability, the component of vulnerability is humility. And I think that that's powerful. Humility is powerful inside. And so inside of humility, it's like, I don't have to be the one that has a vision from an ego standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I come with vision, but my vision doesn't have to be the vision of how it unfolds. So from a humble standpoint, Abby says, yeah, but I feel this over here in this season is something that we should run after. And I look at it and I go, that's a beautiful idea. I'm with you and I'm on board with that. And I'm going to support that. And I'm going to throw my energy behind that. And I don't feel any sense of ego being attacked when I throw something that's inside of Abby's heart forward in partnership.
I love that. Yeah, I really believe that. I believe that true men can push their wife up.
Yep.
Because they're not intimidated. Like even in this season, I'm really running after some things and my husband is my biggest cheerleader. Like he wants to see me run even at the expense of his dreams and visions.
Yeah.
He's pushing mine forward. He's like, I'll take the kids. You go do this.
Yep.
Because I want to see you go forward. And that's really, I mean, that's so powerful. You have to be so confident in who you are in order to do that.
And that's done out of confidence, not out of lack of self-worth.
No, not at all.
He's not saying, oh, I don't have anything to offer, so you go do your dreams.
No.
He's like, no, I'm amazing and powerful, but I actually want to invest.
Choosing you. I'm choosing to see you go further in this season, and I'm willing to make the sacrifices.
Right, I was going to say there's a sacrificial element.
Yep, absolutely. It's that thing of what you were saying. You stoop low to raise your wife and your children up on your shoulders and see them go higher. You know, it's such a place of a servant almost. It's so beautiful, but such a powerful place, you know?
That's so good. I want to talk to the women really quick before we wrap this up.
Yep.
Because there's a couple things that I think are so important. Women often destroy men in the process who are trying to become powerful.
Yep.
And there's this thing where women don't want to be dominated. And what ends up happening is we start taking control and we become really powerful and we don't give room to men.
They don't want to let go of the steering wheel.
No.
I've seen that so many times.
1,000%.
They whine and moan about a man who's being passive. But when the man tries to be powerful and proactive, she grips tightly to that steering wheel and is like, no, touch the wheel.
Yeah. A great example would be like, I wish my husband took care of our kids better. But every time he does something for the kids, you berate him. You
tries to correct them, discipline them, teach them.
Yep.
You act like you know better than him.
Yep.
And so there's this thing where to get a sexy man, you actually have to posture your heart in a way that is empowering them.
Yep.
Because there are ways that you either break them down and then they become less attractive to you. Or you build them up and they become more attractive to you.
Yep. I've even seen this in my marriage where there were things that I knew my husband needed to kind of rise up and lead us in, but I knew I was better at them.
Yeah.
But I chose to actually kind of take a seat back and allow him to fail. I allowed him in my heart. I said, it's okay if he doesn't, like if he messes this up, because I'm choosing to let him take the place that I feel like he's supposed to have and be as powerful as I am in this.
Yeah.
And that's going to look a little messy for a while, but I could easily have overridden him. And it would have been such a dysfunctional relationship had I not looked for the quiet invitation to invite him into power and believe in him. And every time he failed, then I didn't rub it in his face.
Nope.
Actually said, oh my gosh, I pointed out all the things that I thought he did so well and how much I loved that he was growing and running after the things that he was not good at it.
Which takes vision. So really this is back to us being powerful, which is I have vision for who you're becoming. And so I can let you go on the journey. I know so many girls who they want their husbands to be romantic. Their husband does something that is trying to be romantic and fails miserably. And they are so upset and frustrated. And the reason is because they have put all of their expectations on this moment. They're not looking at the big picture. So like, I know there's been times when Justin did something that I was like, this is not romantic to me at all. Like, I don't even care about this thing. But I'm like, no, I want to grow. I want to intentionally grow the place in him that feels like he's going to be received well when he does this. And so I see women get so upset because they're like, well, this is the one time. It's kind of poverty mentality. You just did something, but it wasn't good enough. So I am so upset at you. And now I think the rest, you're never going to get this. Instead of looking at the long term, whatever I praise grows. I've seen this in my marriage. I've seen this in dating relationships. I've seen it in friendships. Whatever I over and over again like value about how, so when Justin would do things that weren't romantic, I would be like, oh my gosh, thank you for making a plan. Thank you for thinking ahead. Thank you for wanting to do something to show me that you love me. Like I'm looking at every intention in his heart and I'm going to applaud that. And I'm going to be a safe place for him to fail.
One of the number one places for men that I've seen who come into my office with relational issues who have been trying to make their marriage better. One of the number one sayings that come out of their mouth is, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't.
Yeah. Totally.
I can't get a win. And so that right there is so emasculating and defeating. And I'm having to take women and turn them upside down and shake them and be like, give your husband a win. Show some gratitude and appreciation, because the minute he feels it, he goes, you mean I won? I did well?
I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
And that compounds. The consistency compounds. So if you start celebrating the small things, him even trying, it will compound. I failed miserably at this 2 weeks ago. My husband and I was in the middle of having almost an anxiety attack. I was feeling high anxiety about something. And my husband's really great at actually affirming me, but he's trying out some different techniques of trying to validate you. To validate me. And it was kind of the wrong thing to say to somebody who's having anxiety. Right. So it kind of spun me out into a meltdown. Moment. And I walked away so sad from the exchange because I realized I then got upset at him because I'm like, this is the worst thing you could say to me right now.
Totally.
And I called Abby and I said, I felt so sad because I know he's really trying in the area of validation.
And you actually want more validation.
Yes. And so even though it wasn't necessarily the best thing to say, I had to come back and say, thank you so much. I am sincerely so sorry that I shut you down in your validation. Thank you so much that you were trying to see me in my pain and validate it. That meant so much to me. I love that you did that.
It meant you're wanting to learn something that matters to me.
And that wasn't saying like, hey, do the same thing again. I was like, here's some things that probably would have been like really awesome for me in it.
Right.
And he was able to accept that. But I that was built on a foundation of me going back and affirming all the things that he did right and celebrating his win of doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
And this is, we do not want to shut down the things that we actually need to be attracted to men.
Right.
Yeah. And I see this happen all the time where women aren't attracted to their husbands because they have shut down the very process for their husbands to become, or their boyfriends to become the man that they are wanting. I want every woman wants a powerful man. So if you are listening and you're a woman, I want you to think, are there ways that I've shut down him becoming powerful?
And control is the number one murderer of power
and criticism
in a relationship.
And let me say this, it's not, you have to look for the small invitation. It's going to be a small invitation to him. And it's just going to be accepting that, oh, thank you so much, acknowledging it. And that consistency will compound to where he's doing it more and more and becoming more and more powerful as you invite him to be.
And I really think that you have to be patient. There has to be a spot where women stop thinking men should already know this. This belief that they should already know how to romance me. They should already know how to take care of the kids. They should already have this figured out. Like there has to be now. We want men who are proactive, where they want to learn,
right? Where
they're actually intentionally engaging. But we want women who are like, it's okay that you don't know. It's okay that you're still learning. And I always tell women, if you're not giving them grace and patience on their learning journey, that means you are mean to yourself. That means that you have a wrong judgment system towards yourself. And I'm not saying you need to learn to be patient towards your husband just so you can, or your boyfriend, just so you can be a good partner. You need to learn patience so that you can be kind to yourself. It actually will be fulfilling and healing for you to change how you see somebody.
And I will say this about even single women. I've sat with so many single women and they're like, well, I don't understand why I'm not married. And there could be lots of reasons, but one of the reasons I'm like, there's not an invitation for a man to come and add anything to you. You completely overpower. You haven't even put value in what a man could bring to you because you don't see it.
I'm independent. I don't need anything. I don't need anyone.
And you berate men. Like even outside of that I'm like, you have to choose change your belief system about what a man can bring to your life.
Absolutely.
You know?
So men, your homework is to go through the 6 steps that we said, and where do you need to grow in showing up powerful?
Yep.
So powerful men have a can-do attitude. When challenges arise, they don't back down. They meet them. They are confident. They push past shame. They have vision, and they are comfortable being vulnerable. So whatever area you listen to that you're like, I need to step this up. Have a conversation with some of your guy friends. Have a conversation with your wife, your sister, your girlfriend, your friends. Begin to engage. When you're single, you want to learn how to get a wife, start here.
Yep.
If you're married, you want your woman to want your hot body, start here.
Yep.
And women, take your ownership too. We're only going to break the gender war when we both show up powerfully.
Yes.
Now, as we always say, we did this for free. There's no cost to you guys to listen. If you got something out of it.
Well, there is a cost. They have to go like, well, I need to change my life.
Mm-hmm. But
I need to face my pain.
If you got something out of this and you wanted to give us a gift back, all we ask is that you rate, review, subscribe, and share. So jump onto iTunes.
Share. Make all of your friends listen to it with you.
Yep.
Yes.
Rate it, review it. We really want the message to get out for people to learn how to get connected, to get healed, to find transformation inside of their hearts. So you're the feet to the message. Go out there and share it and talk about it with people about what you're learning and how you're growing inside of your life. Be vulnerable with people about that journey.
Take your power back.
Yeah, take it back. Yep. And then facebook.com/the connected or the
Connected Life?
Lost
Something?
English.
Blah, blah, blah.
The Connected Life podcast.
Blah, blah.
Jump onto Facebook and you can add us there. And then Abby Stumball on Instagram.
Justin Stumball on Instagram. And
Pietze Duffield on Instagram.
Pietze Duffield.
All right, people. Good luck with that.
Go get your power.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.